Okay, you guys. I am always being asked about my ombre technique, and I had a video I did a while back on a mermaid tail. I feel like that it was kind of small and you really couldn't get the concept. So I'm gonna do a new video today. And this is a 2-inch circle that I got from Zindee. And we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm just going to take this paper backing off. And I'm going to leave the other side on. If you haven't seen any of my other videos, I put my Mod Podge in a little squeeze bottle. I just find that it is easier to handle and control. So we're just going to put some on here. And we need a pretty good coat because we're going to be working with these 3 colors that I also purchased from Zindee. And I take this Mod Podge and spread it on fairly thick-ish because we don't want it drying out as we work across with our colors. So be mindful where your hole is on your acrylic and which way you want your ombre to go. So the 3 colors I am working with today is Toothfairy, Martini, and Hollywood. And these are all 3 of these are holographic glitters and absolutely gorgeous. You have 2 different pour spots. This one is open, big open one, and then we got the one with the sifter. And we're going to use the one with the sifter. I'm going to go ahead and open them all, get them going. And I think I'm going to start with Toothfairy. And so I want mine to go this way. I'm going to start at the top and go ahead and get this top part pretty thick. And then as I'm traveling down, I'm going to go higher and higher up with my bottle so it's not so concentrated as I'm shaking. So I like the look of that right there. Try to get you closer so you can see. Okay, and then I'm going to use, I'm going to use Martini. So I know I want this to basically be here in the middle through here. So that's where I'm going to start. And I'm just going to get just barely shaken, where you're just getting a light little coverage. And then we need it to blend up and we need it to blend down. So as you're in the middle, and we're going to go up with this, I'm just going to bring it up higher and just get a thin little coat. Then I'm going to come back with the Toothfairy, and we're going to start back on that top part, and then as you go down into the Martini, bring it up. And we're going to do this a couple times till I feel like that Mod Podge is being covered. So with the green, I'm going to start in that middle part, and then as I go up, I'm bringing my bottle up, just so that we're sprinkling and mixing these 2 colors. And Toothfairy again, and up. Okay, so back with Martini, now we need to blend down. So I'm starting here in the middle of the green, and now I'm pulling the bottle up just to get a little dust in. And now I'm going in with Hollywood, and I'm going to start on the bottom and work my way up. So we know we need this a pretty good coverage, so I'm going to start really close, and as I work my way up, pull the bottle up. So you're just getting a dusting. I'm going back in with Martini so that we can bring that down. And then a little bit more Hollywood. Y'all, I don't know if you have had the opportunity to buy any of the glitters from Zindee Studios, but oh, they're beautiful. So at this point, what I want to do is just barely on the sides. I like to press my glitter in, but not like beating it in. Just barely a roll. And I'm going to start on the outside just to make sure that we have our Mod Podge covered in glitter. And I'm also going this way because it's the way that my ombre is going right now. I don't really want to pull this blue down into the silver, so we need to try to keep everything. And at this point, you will be able to tell if you have exposed Mod Podge still, because it will be sticking to you. And this feels really good. So I'm going to dust this off right here on the side. And then what I like to do is kind of push this in and move into the green, and take the green and move it into the silver, kind of like this. Then dust that off, and then do the same thing on top. I'm going to do the blue and kind of go into the green, just to make sure all of this is good and stuck. So I'm going to pause this, let this dry, and then we will come back and do a second coat. Okay, so we're back, and this is dried for about 30 minutes. I'm gonna tap all this extra off. Sorry if that was loud. And we're gonna go ahead and do our second coat, which is gonna be the same exact concept. Oh my gosh. Okay. So we're just gonna go with that. I'm gonna brush this glitter on. Try to smooth out some of these thick spots. And we will start getting glitter on again. So I am going to start with Toothfairy again. We're going to start up here on the top. And just like before, we start in there, and we're going to pull up right here and just barely dust into where Martini is going to go. And then we will get Martini open. And like before, we want that in the middle. So we're going to start in the middle with a pretty thick coating. And then we're going to work our way up, and we're going to dust that on. And then we're going to bring back Toothfairy. Kind of start at the top, and we're going to dust into that green. And then we're going to give it a little bit more right there. And then we need to bring this green down into the Hollywood. So starting right there in the middle, as we work our way down, we're going to go further up. And so we just want a little dusting right here. And then we're going to get Hollywood. Start at the bottom. Get a good coat right there. And then as we work up, we're going to lift up. And just barely dust it. Then we're going to go back in with Martini and fill in this right here. Just a little dusting, because we want these two colors to blend together. I'm just going to go back, kind of back and forth, just a little dusting. And then we are going to push this in. Make sure we're not feeling any wet glue. And just push that in. I'm going to turn this so that we can work in these two areas. Make sure everything's getting pushed into the glue, and then I'm going to start on the bottom with Hollywood and work into Martini. Make sure all that is coated. I'm feeling a little bit wet Mod Podge right there, so I'm going to go back in and put a little bit more in here. Like that. And then starting in the middle and just go down. And then back to the middle. Just kind of mix those two together. And then that's it. We are going to let that fully dry for a good couple hours. And then we will put a coat of UV resin on. Okay, so this is finished drying, and we are fixing to clean edges and put UV resin on. And I'm going to clean this hole out first. And then we're going to clean up along those sides. I'm just using a dull paring knife, and I just go through and just shave all this off. So that's all cleaned off. And move this out the way. And this is just a little piece that I keep in my lamp to try to keep it clean. I'm using the thick type from Miniture Sweets. And everything that I used is going to be linked down on the bottom. And I use one of these waxing tools to help spread it out, and a toothpick to keep it still. And then just go slow around the hole so we don't fill it in. Then I'm going to get eye level with it. Make sure that all the edges are covered. And right now I'm eye level with it, and I'm using the reflection of my lamp to kind of see all the edges, make sure that they are all covered, and that looks good. And then I'm going to use my torch and just hit it, keep the heat moving, because if you stay in one spot too long, it will catch on fire. And right now it's still kind of ripply, so I'm just going to let it sit for a few seconds and level out. And then I will put it in the lamp. I had a timer on mine, but it broke. So now I just watch the clock, and I try to keep it around 2 to 3 minutes is usually perfect for the miniature sweets, the thick type. So I'm going to pause y'all while that is going, and I will be back. Okay, so that's finished curing, and that was about 3 minutes. So now it's hard, and we are ready to take off this paper backing and see. And there it is. You can see that. Gorgeous, gorgeous. And like I said, I'm going to have everything linked down on the bottom in the comments. So that's how I do ombre. Thank you for watching.